So again, I'd like to welcome everybody. And Mr. Shariar, I'm really sorry to sorry if Mr. Shariar has got lots of works to do, and it takes a lot of sacrifice for him to, give time to us. Thank you, Mr. Shariar, for being with us and managing your time, managing your uh, other duties and get some time for us. Thank you very much. The floor is yours, Mr. Shariar.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to you all. Am I audible to you? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm extremely sorry that because of my some assignments and appointments, I couldn't conduct my lectures on due time. But in any way, I'm here, so I'm very happy that at last actually I made it, and hopefully, inshallah, I'll be discussing the matter that I am going to talking about today. So I know Mr. Mushid actually he already talked about stress. What is stress? But I would like to focus on what is stress. In detail today, and about sentence stress and intonation. If God permits, then inshallah I will also be talking about it in one of my lectures before we end this program. So hopefully I'll be able to manage time, though actually I'm busy since actually I'm the head of the department, and also there are lots of other things going on in our university at this time. And you know the pandemic situation is quite challenging for all of us. So that's actually I couldn't make time in the past. But let's see what we have in our hand today. So you can see the screen, right? I think it's visible to you. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, as we can see, stress in phonetics. So let's see what we have here today. Before I begin the discussion of stress, I'd like to give you some idea about, the very basics about stress, so that you can get it, that why stress is important and how actually we have to put emphasis on particular words and especially syllables. Now here you see, we are talking about voice, and in phonetics and phonology, voice refers to the speech sounds produced by the vocal folds, and also known as the vocal cords, and also known as voicing. Because when we talk about stress, actually we are talking about voicing, to give emphasis on some particular syllables. Now voice sounds are vibrating and voiceless do not have this. So stress, it will actually help us to identify that which words, which syllables, actually they have vibration and which don't have vibration. Now voice quality, then after voice we have voice quality, and it refers to the characteristic features of an individual's voice. So you see, all of us, we have our own individual voice characteristics, features. So you have a different kinds of voice quality, and I have a different kinds of voice quality. And voice quality, actually, it makes a huge difference. When actually we want to pronounce a word. And one interesting thing is that in voice quality, some voice quality that you can control, and some voice quality that you cannot control. For example, the way actually your vocal cords and different other voice organs, the way actually it is created. The Almighty actually, He has endowed us with these qualities. We cannot change it. But some of the things that through practice, we can change those. Those are controllable voice quality. Now, here you see that in the voice quality, sometimes you see we whisper. So this whispering, that is a kind of voice quality. Or coughing, that is a voice quality. Shying, that is a voice quality. Or clearing the throat, for example. Okay, so before I start my speech, you see, I'm clearing the throat just to have a perfect voice quality, so that clarity will be there. So you see, in this way you can control it. And then we have voice range. You see, sometimes we say that he has a very teacher's voice. That means he can project his voice, even from the back of the, those students who are sitting at the back of the class, the backbenchers, even they can hear him very clearly. So that is voice range. That means it refers to the range of frequency of pitch used by a speaker. the pitch that is used by the speaker. That means the fluctuation of your voice, that we call voice range. Now, next we have the difference between voice and voiceless. From the previous slide, I think already you have come to know that what is voiced and voiceless. That means when you have the vibration of the vocal cords, that is voiced. And if vibrations are not felt, then we call them voiceless sounds. Now, if we really want to understand the difference between these voiced and voiceless, then just if I can turn on my video at this point. Please tell me if you can see me. Am I visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, but I can't see myself. I don't know what to do now, because otherwise I'm not able. Oh, all right, that's it. Here I am. And now, here, actually, I would like to just demonstrate one thing, that how actually you can identify the syllables. So it will help you to understand it. But before that, let's try that how to identify the voice and voiceless. You remember that when actually I was talking about the phonemes in one of my lectures, I mean, just I gave one, and this one is the second one. So in my first lecture, you see, I showed you that how actually we have to pronounce all the phonemes. Now, here, let's take two phonemes. One is fa, and another one is va. So try to just take a look at it, how I do it. So when I say fa, so I will try to sustain the air for a few seconds, I mean within the mouth, so that I'm not going to release the air. Okay, do you get my point, what I'm saying? I will sustain the air within my mouth and I'm not going to release it. And then I will switch to the next phoneme that I have already mentioned, that is fa sound. So first fa, then va. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let's see. So when I'm pronouncing or uttering fa, so you see, you see me how I'm doing, right? See, I'm pronouncing it because the sound is fa. Sound is fa. So you see, that is plosive, and at the same time, that is labiodental. That means your upper lip, the lower lip, and your upper teeth. So in this way, that you see, they touch. So here you see, you don't see the sound or you don't feel the vibration. So can you please do it yourself? So if you please can turn on your video, one of you or two of you, so I would like to see that whether you can pronounce it the way actually I'm showing it to you, if it is possible. Please turn on your video and try to practice it with me. Could you do that? One of you voluntarily? Otherwise, I'll just ask for your names. Please turn on your video and try to utter it the way actually I'm doing it. Otherwise, you will not be able to feel it. Okay, Dr. Bruce, would you like to practice it?
It's a bit of a novel experience here.
Yes, sir. It's just for fun. So it's fun. It's just for fun, nothing else. Okay. Yeah, you can just put, place your fingers on your Adam's apple, and then just your lower lip and your upper teeth, and then pronounce it. Just sustain it for a few seconds. All right, Dr. Bruce, do you feel any vibration there? Do you feel any vibration there, honestly? Any vibration in your Adam's apple?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, that's great. Now try it with va sound. Va. Same, upper teeth and lower lip. Yeah.
Va. Yes, then there is, yes.
Can you feel it, sir?
Yeah.
You can feel the vibration.
Va. And then
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that's great.
There's like an aspiration of air with the
it's a little bit aspirated. It's a little bit aspirated because pa and ba and also va sound, actually a puff of air that will come out of your mouth, but it's very sudden, very abrupt. That's why actually you can feel the vibration there. And it's because of the constriction of the vocal cords, it makes that vibration there. Okay, so you see the va sound, that is vibration, that means this one is voiced. So in this way, we can determine the difference between the voiced and the voiceless. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Is it okay now? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bruce. Now you can turn off your video if you want.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm going to do the same because I don't. All right. Now, let's jump to the next slide. Now, here you see the voicing is a result of moving air causing the vocal folds or vocal cords to vibrate within the lines behind the cartilage of the Adam sac. This vibration in your voice is what you feel and hear when you sustain the sound of V, as Dr. Bruce actually he demonstrated that how to pronounce Vasa, and you can feel it by yourself. All right, I don't want to go for the whole explanation because these are two, you can say, subject-wise, they're very difficult terms, but we'll go for common things so that all of us, we can understand it easily. Now, here you see, here is an example for you. So you see, in his head, this sentence was understandable to Muhammad. So Muhammad actually, he know how to utter this, and he has already uttered it. So I would like any of you to volunteer and to utter this sentence. Anyone can utter this? You can see a sentence on the screen. Please pronounce it. Anyone? Pramit ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, can you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah, please utter the sentence, ma'am.
Dessert is my favorite thing.
Okay, great. Dessert is my favorite thing. Now, you see, when, for example, you're just enacting, Muhammad. Now, here you see, when you see dessert is my favorite thing, this sentence is okay, no problem. But problem is that we call it that these are heteronyms or homophones that with these kind of words, when they have same pronunciation and with the different spelling, but the pronunciation is same, if I don't utter it correctly, then the other interlocutor, he will find it very difficult to understand it, to grab the meaning. Now here you see, but when he said this to a friend, that means when Muhammad said this to a friend, a native English speaker, he looked confused and asked him, why? It's just sand and has no life. It could also be dangerous. Now, and when Muhammad heard this, this reply from the native speaker, he got confused or puzzled. That I said, dessert is my favorite thing. The way Pramit ma'am actually uttered it, the same thing. If a native speaker listen to this, he will get it. He will get confused. Then he will ask the same question: that how is it possible that dessert is your favorite thing? Dessert means here when you pronounce it in this way, it means the sand. The specific geographical area which is full of sand and very, that is very dry. So here actually he means that dessert means the pudding that we take, or anything sweet that we take after the lunch or after the dinner. Now, where is the problem then? The problem is in the pronunciation. Now, let's say, I will just skip that slide because it's not important. Now here you see. Now try to get the difference between this dessert and dessert. In both ways we can pronounce it. But there is one thing, because of its parts of speech, and because of that pronunciation, it makes a difference in meaning. And this meaning, actually, it is understandable only when you stress a particular syllable. And when you stress it properly, then the other speaker or the listener, he will be able to grab the meaning, especially if he or she is a native speaker of English. Now you see, dessert has two primary meanings. As a noun, you see, now the way actually you are going to pronounce it, the stress is on the first syllable, because you see, dessert, we have two syllables, de and zert. De and zert, so dessert. So when you put a stress on the first syllable, like this, dessert, dessert, dessert. You see that left, the second syllable that is a little bit silent, or you can say it's very politely to pronounce it, and not that much accentuated that you say. But the first syllable, dessert, you see, de, that's all. There actually have to put the emphasis. And you can see there is a mark, a vertical sign is there. Because of that, you can understand that you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. So it makes a difference in pronunciation as well as in the meaning. And we'll see that how it makes a difference in a while. Now, and makes a barren region devoid of vegetation, especially an arid region that has very little rainfall. So now here you see, when you say as a noun desert, then it means that arid region, that means a place without water, that is barren, no vegetation is there. Then the second meaning, when it changes the participle speech, same as spelling, but the participle speech is different. The first one, it was noun, and you can see the meaning is different. That is desert, a barren land full of sand. And when it's a verb, then it is pronounced. Now we'll look at the pronunciation. Pronunciation has been changed, as well as the stress is on the second syllable. You see, now the pronunciation is desert, desert. You see, not desert. That is desert. This one is desert. That is short sound, and the stress is on the zut, 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 zut. The R, since actually it is preceded by a vowel sound, a vowel phoneme, that is that sound. So that's why we don't have to pronounce it. So R will remain silent. So you have to pronounce it desert, 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 desert. You see, za sound, that should be emphasized. So with the stress on the second syllable, and it means to leave or abandon someone, something, or some place, or to forsake someone or something, especially in spite of a duty or responsibility. So here you see, it means to leave someone or something, to leave. So desert means to leave, and desert means, the barren land that is full of sand. So desert, emphasis on the first syllable, pronunciation is slightly changed, and also, and in the second, when it is verb, you see, desert, that is emphasis on the second syllable, and pronunciation is also changed, as well as the meaning. So now you can understand the difference between desert and desert. Now, next slide, here you see, we have the example sentence, and from here you can get the nuance of difference of meaning and pronunciation quite clearly from these two example sentences. After spending a week camping in the desert, I gained a newfound appreciation for modern conveniences. And the second sentence, I can believe he deserted the fledgling company to go work for some giant corporation. So you see, in the second sentence, I can't believe he deserted the fledgling company to go for some giant corporation. And in the third sentence, the soldier was held on charges of you can see, this one is the verb, of deserting his post. So you see, in the first sentence, as you can see on this screen, that is desert, desert. The emphasis on the first syllable, and that is der sound, so desert. And in the second sentence, you see, it has been used as a verb, so that is second syllable, that is zerted, that will be emphasized, and the first syllable, you see, that will not be pronounced as a sound, it will be pronounced as e sound, short e. Deserted, deserted the fledgling company. And in the third sentence, it's again verb, the charges of deserting his post, deserting, deserting. So the first syllable, that will be little bit, it is a little bit silent, or you can say not that much emphasized, but the second syllable, that is emphasized. So in the second and third sentences, we find that this is verb, that is desert, and in the first sentence, that is desert. The pronunciation is like this. I hope you can get the difference from these example sentences, and it is clear to you. After this, do you have any confusion or any question to ask? Any question?
Yeah, Mr. Shri, I thought it was well explained. It's quite a subtle difference between the usage.
Yes.
It's sort of, in my mind, I can sort of see a visual image in my mind of, the sand, and then I can see somebody leaving, and then a dessert, I can see like a plate with some food in it. So, it's very different. There's a difference. There's a difference, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dr. Bruce. All right, now we have another word left. So we have seen that with the same spelling, D-E-S-E-R-T. So with this one is dessert and another one is dessert. So we have found, we have already understood the difference between these two. Now we have another word with a, one extra S there. So D-E-S-S-E-R-T. So how actually we're going to pronounce it? Because as you can remember, if you go back to the first sentence, so here you can see on the screen on the slide 5. So as one of our participants, as she uttered it, so dessert is my favorite thing. Now we'll see that whether that was correctly pronounced. Now here you see on slide 8, you can see D-E-S-S-E-R-T. So this word is pronounced the same way as the verb definition of dessert. So you see, I cannot say that is dessert. If you say that is dessert, then dessert is my favorite food, then people will get confused. That means sand is your favorite food, but it can't be possible. So where we have to say dessert, dessert, dessert. So you see, za is, that is emphasized, the second syllable, and you see the pronunciation is different, just like the verb. The way actually pronounce the verb dessert, that means to abandon or to forsake. Similarly, we have to pronounce the food that we want we want to eat, or we want to pronounce it like dessert, dessert. So you see the spelling is different, but the pronunciation is same. One is verb, another one is noun. So when it is noun, the meaning is obviously different. And here we have the example sentence. Would you like ice cream or pudding for dessert? Would you like ice cream or pudding for dessert? I hope it makes sense. Is it okay now? Pramit ma'am, now you understand
Yes,
it?
sir. So the first one is dessert and the second one is dessert.
Dessert, exactly. Just remember that the difference between
Yes.
A and E sound, and
Yes.
then you can just put emphasis on the second syllable. Okay,
Right, sir. Right, sir.
that's great. Now here you see what kind of characteristics are primary characteristics that you can find in a stress. Now stress is a quality of vowel sounds. So you see, we put a stress only on the vowel sounds. So this is one characteristic. Just try to remember it, and also we'll be talking about it in a while. So it has 3 primary characteristics. One is length, that how long actually we're going to pronounce it, utter it. And then we have the volume, that is the sound, the volume, and also the pitch, that is the frequency, or how far actually you can reach through this stress. So these 3 things are there in every stress, whether we can recognize it or not, but it's there, and we do it unconsciously. We don't care about it. But since actually we are going to talk about it, professionally or academically, so that's actually we need to know the names. So next time when you pronounce it, we need to think about the length, that how long, and volume. The tone, or it's almost same just like the pitch, but pitch is that is the frequency that you will use with your vocal cord. That's actually how you want to pronounce it, with stronger or with weaker version. Now, stress vowel sounds are longer, louder, and or higher in pitch than vowel sounds without stress. So we'll put stress on the vowel sounds, and when we put stress on the vowel sounds, that will be uttered or pronounced longer time, and louder, and also higher in pitch. All right, and we combine all these 3 features together to put a stress or to utter a particular vowel. All right. Now in English, we do not say each syllable with the same force or strength. In one word, we accentuate one syllable. Just remember, this is very important, that in one word, we have only one syllable. That will put a stress there. We'll put emphasis on only one syllable. That means we'll accentuate only one syllable, not 2, 3, or 4 syllables. Even if it is 4-syllabic word, still we'll put only one stress, only one syllable. All right, so we say one syllable very loudly. That means big, strong, and important. That means we make it important. And all the other syllables very quietly. So we accentuate one syllable very loudly, and we utter other syllables very quietly. Now, what is word stress? Now in English, the individual sounds of a word, that is syllable, are pronounced with the same way. One syllable receives more emphasis than the others. Now here we have an example. And this word is 3-syllable, or we can say trisyllabic word, like beautiful. So here you can see boo or boo, that 1 syllable, T another syllable, and foo, that is a 3rd syllable. So that is 1, 2, 3. And here actually I want to just give you a reminder that in this discussion, in most cases, we are going to show the stress with this capitalization of the letters. As you can see, B, E, A, and U. I mean, this B, E, A, U, that is capitalized. So that means that is the stress syllable. So beautiful, beautiful. So you see, the rest of the syllables, they are uttered quite silently. But the first one that is emphasized, beautiful. Okay, can anyone pronounce it now? Look at the stress and then try to pronounce it. Who can pronounce
Beautiful.
it?
Beautiful.
Okay, that's great. So you are only the active participants. One of the participants. What about the rest of the students or participants? Fahim, are you there? Fahim? Tanzir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tanzir, can you pronounce it, please?
Beautiful.
Okay, put more emphasis on the first syllable and make the
Beautiful.
rest of the syllables, pronounce them very, you can say softly, okay? But go hard on the first syllable, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, try it again.
Beautiful.
No, utter it, put some emphasis. Beautiful, okay? Say it
Okay,
once. Say,
beautiful.
all right. All right, you need to practice it more, but it's okay. I think that you have got it. All right, now how to identify the syllables and how can we understand the word stress, okay? Now, here we say a syllable is a unit of pronunciation that has one vowel sound. A word might have 1 syllable like an or can, you see that's only 1 syllable, you cannot divide it. So that is indivisible in that sense, syllable wise. More such as police, so you see poo sound or po sound and there is lease, so there are 2 syllables. And then again we have company, that is 3-syllable word, so company. Then we have trisyllabic word or 4 syllables like necessary. So you see name, say, sir, and read. And we can go on like this. Now, here is an interesting question. Do you know the English word with the most syllables? Actually, in English, we have many words. They have more than 10 to 12 and sometimes 14, 15, 16 or 20 syllables, but we'll not go for that far. That long words, but just to make it interesting, I just want to know that how many syllabic words actually you know, the longer words in your vocabulary, in your repertoire. So I just want to check it. So here is, we have 4-syllabic word like necessary, that is 4 syllables. So can anyone give me an example of 5-syllabic word or trisyllabic? We call it penta, hexa, hepta, then octa, like this. So can anyone give me any 5-syllabic or 6-syllabic or 7-syllabic word? Do you know anything like that? Any example? Can you? Anyone? 5-syllabic word. Think about it and give me one. Who can? Dilshad?
Shahriar, you have
Yes, sir.
to name them, otherwise they won't respond. This is what I learned
Okay.
from.
All right. I'll do that. No problem. I just wanted to make it democratic, so that's why. I don't want to be autocratic, but I will be if it is needed. Okay, Dilshad.
Of course,
Can you give me an example?
Miss Pamit is very active.
Yes.
Other than her, I found hardly anybody who respond from herself or himself.
Yes. But this is very interesting. I just want to mention before we go for our discussion. It might be a digression from our discussion, but I think it's very, relevant. Usually, in linguistics, we can see in the second language acquisition. There, we have found that, especially the grown-ups, the adults learner, actually, they don't want to take risks because they feel very shy. They don't want to feel mortified or humiliated in front of the other classmates. other learners because they're very adult and grown-ups. So that's why actually they don't want to take the risks to lose their face in front of the whole class. And by the younger people, they can take more risks because they don't feel ashamed of, making mistakes. But here, it has been proved wrong that Pramit ma'am, and she is the most senior participants, I believe that, one of the most senior participants, obviously. But still, she is very courageous. But our younger ones, they keep mum most of the time. So here, SLA theories, I think it didn't work. Okay, it proved wrong here. But anyway, that is just interesting thing I just wanted to mention. I hope you got the point.
Actually, there is no face here. Everybody's camera is off.
Yeah, Dilsha.
So don't worry. Your face will not be.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
What is
okay.
Because
terminology?
everybody's camera is off.
Yeah, just give me a word that has 5 or 6 syllables. Can you give me a word? Just for
Yes,
fun.
sir. Sir, terminology?
Terminology. How many syllables we have here?
Sir, 5.
Excellent. So ta, me, no,
No.
lo, G.
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 Yes, sir.
Okay, you counted it right, okay? So you're good at maths. That's great.
Okay, sir.
All right. Bushra, can you give me another example? If there anyone who can come up with 6 word or 6 syllables or 7 syllabic word, is it possible for anybody? Bushra, can you give it a try? Bushra, would you like to try?
Sorry, sir, I have no idea.
You don't have any idea. Okay, no problem. Amanullah, are you with us?
So
Amanullah,
one word I can think of: examination.
Okay, Pramit ma'am, examination. So examination. Yeah, it has 5. I think it's 5 syllabic. Yeah.
And
Sir, consideration?
Consideration. Good. Consideration.
environmental.
Okay.
Environmental.
Environmental. Exactly. Sajid Hassan. Mr. Sajid Hassan. Respectability.
Maybe 5.
Respectability. Yes. It's a lot more syllables on there. Thank you, Dr. Bose.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's see what I have for you.
Incomprehensible.
Incomprehensible. What's that? That's a very nice word. Incomprehensible. If you don't put emphasis or stress in the right place, then we will be incomprehensible to each other. Yeah. Thank you. It's a nice word. All right. Let's jump to the next slide and let's see what we
Sir,
can do.
1 minute,
Yes.
please.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So please go on to the last slide.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Sir, I'm really confused in this that if we see the word police,
Yes.
I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it right or not.
No problem.
Yes,
It's okay.
though we have learned also,
Yes.
but still, old habits doesn't go easily.
Yeah. Old
So,
habits die hard. We know that.
so in this word, like how we'll understand this, like this is 1 syllable and 2 syllable. In this, like as what I can read from here, it has like 1 syllable with a vowel sound. It has only 1 vowel sound.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for
So,
the question. Yeah, I
and this is
understand.
police is po,
You
and
think
Lee.
it's only? You think that's only 1 syllable or 2 syllable? What's your point? Or how
No,
to
if it
identify
has
the syllable?
exactly, and how to identify, and if I look at this word police,
Okay.
so po has 1 vowel sound, and Lee is also, it has 1 vowel sound. It has to be, then why it is not 3? As I
Okay.
see,
All right.
I'll learn it by heart that it is 2 syllable word. But
Okay.
if it comes to explaining to the students, if they come up with such questions like I have right now, so I need
Okay.
to know the reason as well.
All right. Obviously, ma'am. That's a nice question, and thank you for that question. All right. Now let's see how can we find out that whether it's 2 syllabic or whether it's only 1 syllable or maybe it's 3 syllable. Let's see. So police. Now, just for argument's sake, let's see we have 3 syllable. Okay. Just consider that we have 3 syllable here in police. All right. Like poo and then li, and after that there is another dash or hyphen. Then we have ce. Now, ma'am, if I ask you to pronounce it, so pronounce PO. Can you pronounce it together? How will you pronounce it? Po, right?
Po. Po.
Okay, then L-I, pronounce it.
Li.
Or lie, Li or lie. Okay, Li. And then pronounce
Li.
C-E. How do you pronounce it?
No, will not be able to pronounce.
when you pronounce it, then that's a sound. That is sa sound. So individually, that's a phoneme, but that's not a syllable.
Okay.
Understood, ma'am?
Right.
Now is it clear
Yes.
to you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Now, here is the word. Can you see that word?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who can pronounce it? If you pronounce it, then we will give you a clap.
Okay, I'll try.
No, doctor, not you. Just give me a moment. I would like to see our younger ones if they can pronounce it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Rahan. He is the most inactive participant. I never heard of him saying anything. Rahan, are you there? Rahan? Okay, then Umama Mahsina, can you try?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Fantastic. Even I couldn't read it. I mean, when I tried it for the first time.
Well done, very good.
Very good. Yeah, you're better than me, obviously. You're better than me, I must say. All right, so can you see we have 12 syllables. Can you imagine that? And it has a meaning. I mean, it is not a fake or concocted word. I mean, it has meaning. It's a real word. Here, see, the meaning is the opposition of belief that there shouldn't be an official church in a country. So that is, I mean, going against the establishment. So that is why we call it anti-disestablishmentarianism. Okay. Now here we have 12 syllables. Now I have divided it for your understanding. Here we see. Now anti-disestablishmentarianism. So you see, is in itself is a you can say it's a syllable. We can count it in that way. Then ni and zum. So you see, though actually we don't have any vowel, but zum, when you pronounce it, then you can feel that there is a S-A-M just like this. So that's why it is 12 syllable word. So we have a lot more words in English, but not all the words like this. Very few words, they are more than 6. Few words you can find more than 6. Now, features of a stressed syllable. All right, let's see what we have here. Now, when a native speaker stresses a syllable in a word, this is what they do. Introduce a longer vowel, raise the pitch of the syllable to a higher level, say the syllable louder, pronounce it with clarity, create a more distinctive facial movement. So you see, facial movement is very important. So longer vowel, and there will be pitch. I've already mentioned it. That is the frequency, how you pronounce it. And the syllable, you have to pronounce it louder. That means you have to make it audible and people can hear it very clearly. And there we go, clarity. That means it will be very clear, crystal clear. People can understand it. And then, excuse me, and then more distinctive facial movement. Because if you don't make any facial movement, then people will not get the, real experience of the pronunciation or the stress that you're putting there, because they will get confused. So they will not be able to understand you. So you have to make the right kind of facial movement when you utter a particular syllable. Now let's take these 3 words, okay? Now who can pronounce it? We have very simple 3 words here. Can you?
Sir, may I try?
Your name, please. Sorry.
Sir, Bushra.
Bushra. Okay, Bushra, please try.
First one's photograph.
Okay, excellent.
And second one is photographer.
Mhm.
Now, yeah.
Okay.
Sir, I'm confused with the second one.
Third one? Yeah. Third one is?
Photographic.
Okay, that's great. Now, you see, you tried it, but it almost sounds very flat. Okay, because you see, we have different syllables here, and also the number of syllables are different at the same time, since it is a multi-syllabic word. So that's why we have to put the emphasis on the right word. Otherwise, people will not be able to difference between photograph and photographer and photographic. Okay, they'll not be able to understand it clearly. Now let's see what we have. I wish actually I could. Now I will try it again today. Now let's see. Mushita, I need your help. The last time actually when I tried it, I couldn't make it audible, but I want to make it audible today. So where do I have to go?
Okay, you have to go to screenshot again, screen share again.
I have to go to screen share.
Go to screen share.
Screen share.
Yeah, screen share.
But here we have new screen. That means I have
Same
to
place where you have shared your screen on the Zoom interface. Yeah.
Screen share.
You just get out of this screen sharing.
All right. I have
Yeah.
to get out of this screen sharing mode. That's great. And then.
Did you get it? There is an option enable.
Advanced sharing option.
Enable computer
Yes.
sound, something like that, on left bottom. No. When you go to screen share,
Yes.
you have an option coming at the bottom left corner.
Okay.
I mean, on that window
Yes. Let's try.
itself. On that window itself, screen sharing window itself, which gives you got it?
Is it like it here?
Sharia, did you? No, it's okay. When you go to screen sharing, when you click screen sharing, a window pops up. Sharia.
Okay, when you
click.
Let's here. Yeah, I have already clicked it there, and
Okay,
share
click the
computer
screen share.
sound. Yeah, I clicked
And
it.
there is
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for serving my
the
day.
window has popped up. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome.
Now you can see the window, right? You can see the screen share.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, sir.
Zoom slideshow.
Yeah.
Great. I'm very happy. Thank you for being a good mentor, Mushita. Let's listen to it.
It's okay.
Photographer.
Is it audible?
Yeah.
Yes, audible.
Fantastic. Let's listen to it again.
Photographer. Photographer.
Now you tell me, where is the stress? Bushra, you tried it, right? Last time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you tell me.
So in the
Listen to it.
second word,
Yeah, you can see that. Listen to him again. Listen to this.
Photographer.
Now can you pronounce it?
it's photographer.
Okay. Now, you see the ta sound, you have to put some emphasis there. Okay? Say it again.
Photographer.
Now, let's make the first syllable silent, almost inaudible. Okay? Just pronounce it in that way. And go for the second syllable. Put emphasis there. Try it again.
Photographer.
Excellent. Now you see, photographer. Photographer. See, ta sound is there. Photographer. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Photographer.
You see?
Photographer.
Just try to simulate it. Okay, who wants to try?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else who wants to try?
Photographer.
No, ma'am. Just listen to it carefully. No, you're doing great, ma'am. You're doing great.
Photographer.
You have emphasized the second syllable. That is okay. But the thing is that the rest 3 syllables, you're also making them very audible, especially the R sound. Okay, ma'am?
Okay, sir, yes.
Ma'am, from your vocabulary repertoire, you have to kill the R. Just think
Fine.
that there is no R in English. When you write it, you put it there, but when you pronounce it, there shouldn't be any R. But it's still, you tried it very well. Can you try it again? Just listen to it first, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Photographer.
Yes, sir. Photographer.
You're quite close. Then for R, ma'am, just end it here, the R A sound, and after that, don't say the R. Okay, forget that there is no R in photographer. I'm just saying it for you, photographer. So just imagine there is no R in this word. There is no R. Just say photographer. Can you say it?
Photographer.
Say it
Photographer.
again, ma'am.
Photographer.
No.
Photo.
Forget about the R. There is no R in this word. The spelling is Photogaphe. Forget about the R. Now pronounce it.
Photo.
Photo.
Okay.
Gafa. Gafa. Say it, man. Gafa.
Photographer.
Gafa. Excellent. Say it again.
Photographer.
Okay. Now
Gaffer.
put emphasis on the second syllable. Photographer. Say it, man.
Photographer.
It's very close. So now when you pronounce it, if you see there is R, and if it is, after the vowel sound, vowel phoneme, then just omit it and don't pronounce it. Okay, ma'am? Just do
Yes,
it like
sir.
this. When you
Yes.
find any difficulty with your R, just imagine there is no R in that word. It will be very close to the original pronunciation. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, excellent.
Photographer.
Now here, see the next word.
Photographic.
You
Photographic.
can see the stress is on the third syllable, and you see G-R-A-P-H. That is in the, all these letters are capitalized. I told you that just to make you give the sense of the stress. We'll just put that syllable in, the capitalized letters. So now here you can see photographic, photographic. See?
Photographic.
Now,
Photographic.
ma'am, can you do it? Can you pronounce it, ma'am?
Photographic. Photographic.
Yes. Make the R very soft.
Hmm.
Okay, ma'am?
Yes.
So, okay, go on, ma'am. Photo.
Photo.
Graphic.
Graphic.
No, I don't know how to pronounce it. How is it? Graphic. Okay, just pronounce it like this, graphic. Don't say R. Photographic. Pronounce it in this way.
Graphic.
No. Graphic. Imagine there is no R. No, imagine there is no R. I don't know. Even if when you don't imagine, it still there is R. That's quite interesting. Photographic. Yeah, say it, ma'am.
Photographic.
Okay, now you're very close. People will understand that there is R there. Now listen to it again and then try it for the last time.
Photographic.
Say it, ma'am.
Photographic.
Photographic. Photographic. Okay. Graphic.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Great. That is photographer, photographic, photograph. Okay. I think I missed it. So let's try.
Photograph.
Sorry.
Photographer. Photograph.
You see the emphasis on the first syllable. Photograph. Photograph.
Photograph. Photograph.
Dr. Bruce, if you can just drill it, just to demonstrate it for our other
Yeah, okay. Photograph. Photograph.
Thank you. Excellent.
Photograph.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr.
Okay.
Bruce.
No problem.
Yeah, I think now they will understand it.
Photographer.
So photograph, photographer,
Photographic.
photographic. All right.
Photographer, photographic. Photographer, photographic. Photographer, photographic.
Thank you, Dr. Bruce. Thank you. Now, here you see, I have put it in the phonetic transcription so that you can understand it, because already we are familiar with all these phonemes. Now, here you see, in dictionary, this is the original transcript, that how do they look. So you can see the look This is the phonetic transcription. So here see, fa sound, there you see the emphasis just right before the fa, and you see pho, that is the emphasis there. Photographic, photographic, photograph, sorry, photograph, photograph. And the second one is, you see, photographer, 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 photographer. You see, ta sound. Then in the second one, you can see the third syllable, that is photographic, 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 photographic. You see, gra, gra, the ga sound, that is the emphasis. Now, stress types, though it's not that much important to know, I'm just giving you the names. Like we have 4 different kinds of stress, like tonic stress, emphatic stress, contrastive stress, and new information stress. In fact, I'll not go for the, all these description because we have a lot more to do. Let's skip some of these slides, but I'm going to share these slides with you. So from there, you can read it yourself. And if you don't understand, we're always there on WhatsApp. You can catch up with us. Now, there are 2 very important rules about stress. So what are these 2 rules? Just remember, one word has only one stress. I have already mentioned it earlier, that one word has only one stress. So in a word, even if it is 2-syllabic, 3-syllabic, 4-syllabic, or 6-syllabic, we will have only one stress syllable there. You cannot have 2 stress syllables in the same word. That is the rule, in the English phonetics. You see, one word cannot have 2 stresses. If you hear 2 stresses, you hear 2 words. 2 stresses cannot be one word. It is true that there can be a secondary stress in some words, but a secondary stress is much smaller than the main or primary stress and is only used in long words. So in English, we have only 2 stress, that is primary stress and secondary stress. Primary stress means a stress syllable that we put a stress there, and secondary stress that is not that much emphasized, okay? That will go soft on that syllable or syllables. And the second rule is we can only stress vowels, not consonants. So remember, only vowels, sounds, they are stressed. You cannot put stress on consonants. So remember this. So one word has only one stress, and we can only put a stress only on one vowels, not on consonants. And one thing, that English syllables are stress timed. You can see our languages, especially Bangla, it's a very flat language. We don't put stress on syllables. We have sentence stress, and we have tone, we have pitch, and we have intonation, but we don't have this stress on the syllables. So in that sense, you can say our language, especially my mother tongue, Bangla, that is a stress-free. We don't put emphasis on the syllables. So our language is not a stress time, but English is very much a stress time because all syllables actually have to put a stress at least on one syllable in a word. Right. Now the English language is heavily stressed with each word divided into syllables. Now we are going to give you some examples that how can we put syllables there. Now here you can see words with one syllable. Look at this. The, cold, quiet, bed, at, stirred, hope, clean, train, green, chair, cat, sign, pea, wish, dry, plant, square, deep, wait, walk, of, hear, through, eat, rough, trout, shine, watch, for, out, catch, fly, rain, speech, crab, line, not, fixed, slow, light, reach, trade, light, move, wash, trend, bump, walk, sue, joke, try, brooch. So you see, all these words are monosyllabic, or you can say one syllable word. We cannot divide them. So they're indivisible syllable words. Now 2-syllable, we call it bisyllabic or disyllabic words. You see, party. You see, we have per and then we have t. Spatial. You see, spay and then we have short. Spatial. Today. Today. So you see, today. To and day. Quiet. You see, quiet and accent. Then orange. See, orange, O and end, partner, table, demand, power, retrieve, doctor, engine, diet, transcribe, contain, cabbage, mountain, humor, defend, spatial, greedy, change, manage, carpet, although, trophy, insist, tremble, balloon, healthy, shower, verbal, business, mortgage, fashion, hover, butcher, magic, broken. So you see, these are disyllabic or bisyllabic word. That means they have two syllables in the same word. Okay? Is it clear that how actually we are dividing in different syllables? Is that clear? Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then,
Yes, that's
then we
Yes, sir.
have,
Yeah.
okay, that's great. Then we have trisyllabic, or we have three syllables, like fantastic. So you see, fantastic. Then energy, expensive, wonderful, laughable, badminton, idiot. You see, very simple word, and it seems that it's only one word, but apparently maybe two syllables. You see, trisyllable. You see, E, that's a single syllable. D, that is another syllable, and odd, that is so idiot. Then celery, celery. Then we have beautiful, I've already mentioned it. Then aggression, computer, journalist, horrify, gravity, temptation, dieting, then trampoline, then trampoline, industry, distinguished, however, tremendous, that's tremendous, then justify, inflation, creation, injustice, energize. You see, in this way. Then there is another word like tangible, that is tangible. So you can see these are trisyllabic words. Then we have four syllables. I'm not going to read all these words, like understanding, indecisive, so indecisive. Then we have conversation, you see, conversation. Then realistic, you see, realistic. Then moisturizing, so you see, moisturizing. So you see, four syllables. Then American, so Assam, ma, re, and kan, American. Because first A, that is short vowel, so you don't have to pronounce it. So emphasis will be ma sound, so American. Then psychology. Then gregarious, the gregarious. Then independence. Then affordable. Then we have memorandum, controversial. Then we have superior, gymnasium. Then we have entrepreneur. So all these different words, these are four syllabic words. Then we have five syllabic words. This is organization. Then we have uncontrollable. Then we have inspirational. So inspirational, see, five syllables. Then we have misunderstanding. Then conversational. Similarly, we have opinionated, biological, subordination, determination, sensationalist, refrigerator. Okay, so in this way, we can pronounce it. Then we have six syllables, like responsibility. Then we have syncratic, so idiosyncratic. Then we have discriminatory. Then invisibility. So in this way, we can go on. So these are six syllabic words. Then we have seven syllables, like industrialization, so industrialization. Then we have multiculturalism, so multiculturalism. Then we have interdisciplinary, radioactivity, unidentifiable, environmentalism, individuality, vegetarianism, unsatisfactorily. Then we have electrocardiogram. So these are 7 syllables. Now, we'll go for the stress patterns, because the stress patterns actually, it creates rhythm. So this is the main focus. We have already given you some idea that how to identify the syllables. Now, Ramit ma'am, you asked a question, and I would like to just give you some idea. I'll just turn on the video. Let me know if you can see me. I'm visible to you. Just let me
Yes,
know.
sir.
Can you see me? Now, you asked the question that how can we identify syllables, right? So here is the trick. Here is the trick. You can also try it by yourself. Now, I'll go back to the next slide so that I can pick someone from there. For example, let's take the word. Which one is easy for you? Industrialization. Will that be okay?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, rather I go for individuality so that I can demonstrate it quite perfectly. So you need to get the word. Now, if you just take a look at me, that how actually I'm going to pronounce it. Now I'll just put my, you can see the other side of my palm. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
My right hand. So I'll take my hand. All of you, can you see it? Dr. Bruce, Mushabbai?
Yeah.
I'm visible to you. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Now you just
Yeah,
take
we can
your
see.
hand.
Yeah, we can see.
And actually the top side of your hand or the other side, just the opposite of your palm. Take your hand, put it here, a little bit of a space there. Slightly space, you can see, you can find it there. Now here, I'm going to pronounce the word individuality, okay? Now you see, in, the, V, Q, R, the, T. So you see, just try to test how many times actually it touches there. How many times you can see the chin, the lower part of your chin, how many times it touched the back of your hand, the back of your hand. You can see the back of your hand, the other side of your palm, how many times it touches there. So in, one, D, B. So when you touch it, then you keep counting in your mind, okay? In, D, B, Q, R, D, T. How many times? See, 7 times. So in this way, you can identify the number of syllables quite easily. So let me give you a word quite randomly. Conclusion. So try it. Can you try it? Conclusion. How many times? How many times? Pronounce it, with the emphasis so that you can find out the syllables. So you see, conclusion. How many times you see touched your back of hand? The lower part. 3 times.
4 times.
3 syllables.
How is it possible that it's 4 times? Can you try it again? Conclusion. You see? Conclusion. Yes, 4 times. You're right. Conclusion. So you see? Maybe I'm confused because I'm talking about lots of things. So conclude. No, you see CLU, it is pronounced 1. Conclusion. So that is only 3 syllables. Because CLU, or if you just put U separately and you put CL together, this consonant cluster together, you cannot pronounce consonant cluster without the help of a vowel. So CL in between, there is no vowel, so it is very difficult to pronounce it. Though actually we pronounce SM, because there is a R sound, it is there. Okay? But CL, you cannot pronounce it. Now let me take another word randomly so that I can demonstrate it quite clearly. Like, okay, pronounce the word psychology. Can you try? Find out the number of vowels there. Psychology. Pronounce it. Anyone? And see how many times it touches the back of your hand. So you see, psychology.
4.
It's 4. Psychology.
Yeah,
so
4 times.
It touches 4 times. Excellent. Now, ma'am, is that clear now?
Hi. Yes, sir.
So you can apply it right now.
Yes, so wonderful idea, sir.
Okay,
Wonderful way to find out.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your appreciation. I feel encouraged. All right, now I'm going to turn off the video again. All right, okay. Now let's see what you have. Now we're going to talk about these stress patterns, and we remember that these stress patterns, they create rhythms, and rhythms is very important in English, because otherwise, the native speakers or the interlocutors, with whom actually you are having a conversation, they will find it very difficult to understand. So that's why I have set some rules. And before that, I would like to give you some idea about primary stress and secondary stress. Now, you see the primary stress is the loudest syllable in the word. We have already defined it out. The loudest syllable in the word. And there is only one syllable that will be emphasized or stressed in the word. Okay? And here you see, as you can see it on the screen, a raised vertical line that will be there in the dictionary. We also call it a short raised stroke. So in the dictionary, you can find that the stress syllable before that at the top, you can see there is a stress mark. We call it a raised vertical line or a short raised stroke. You can see that, right? So how to identify it? In the dictionary, you can see the stress mark there. So accordingly, you have to pronounce it. Now, in the secondary
So we
stress,
can also say apostrophe.
no, this is not apostrophe, ma'am. That is vertical line. Apostrophe is just like the comma at the top. Okay, ma'am?
Okay,
Comma at the top, that is apostrophe. But this one is vertical line. Now, secondary stress syllable which are not completely unstressed but aren't as loud as the primary stress. So they aren't as loud as the primary stress. You can see secondary stress, you can see them the lowered vertical line. You can see on the screen within the bracket, you can see the lowered vertical line. Now, and also you can see short lowered stroke. So I'll put some example, but before that, this is very interesting and try to remember this trick. That how can you find the stress syllables? The stress syllables, unstressed syllables actually, syllables that have no stress at all. So we have stressed, we have secondary that is slightly stressed or semi-stressed, and there is unstressed. You don't have to put any stress at all. Paramit man, try to remember it that because of this, you fail to identify the schwa sound or the short E or O or U sound at the end. That's why you pronounce the R and you put emphasis on the R. That so if you can identify it from the next time, then you will find it that your pronunciation will get, I can say quite perfect. You can get it. Now here you see, in English almost all of these have schwa for the vowel, though short E will also often be unstressed like E in happy. So you see, ha, or the ha sound, see that is emphasized, you can see the phonetic transcription. And at the end, we have this E sound. So when you go to E, you don't have to pronounce it that much. That is unstressed. You don't have to put any stress. Just say, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. It's a ha sound. You have to put emphasis there. So very rarely, another non-sure vowel might run a stress line. O sound, like you see, here you can see the potato. How can you can pronounce it? See ta sound, the third syllable, that will be emphasized. So you see, potato, 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 potato. See from most speakers line. So it involves one of the following vowels. So when you want to find the unstressed syllables, either short E or sound, short vowel or U sound will be there. So when you find these phonetic, these phonetic, phonemes there, then you can take it that is unstressed syllable. That means you have to, you don't have to put any emphasis on those syllables. As actually in these last, you can see in potato, you see O sound, and in happy, the E sound. Now here we have example. Look at this. Now you can understand it very well. I have put it here for your better understanding. For example, how to pronounce it. Can you pronounce, anyone? Dilshad, are you there? Dilshad, are you there? Or Tanzir, can you pronounce it?
Come here. Say enough.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tanzir, can you try?
Enough.
All right. Then next one.
Manitoba.
Next one.
Photograph.
Actually, that is O sound, okay? O sound, but it's in a different way. This O means short vowel and U sound. So that will be photograph, okay?
Okay,
Now here,
sir.
let me pronounce it for you. So you can see the first one is short vowel, so that is unstressed. I told you, it's almost silent. You don't. We say enough. Actually, it is not enough. Excuse me. It will be pronounced just like this. Nuff, nuff, nuff. You see, there is no short vowel at the beginning. It sounds like nuff. Understood what I'm saying? It sounds like
Yes, sir.
enough. This a sound, like a sound, the short a, I mean the short vowel, that will be pronounced very softly, almost inaudible, okay? Like this, enough, because the enough, that is a stress sound. You can see the stress, that vertical line, you can see it there. Or the, yeah, okay, the shortest stroke. Now here, this word, the second one, that is, you can see that is a secondary stress. You can see the sound, a ma sound. You can see the before the ma sound, that is lowered short stroke. Or you can see the secondary stress mark. You can see it's just like down. It's not in the up of the. You can see the ma sound. So that is the secondary stress. So you cannot completely skip it. You have to pronounce it, but not. You don't have to put emphasis. That is semi-stress, you can say. That's why we call it secondary stress. For example, and that is a sound, So that is ma, or a, that's na sound, that is a sound, and then is ta, that is o, and that is ba, and that is a sound. So these are unstressed. So all these short vowels, they're unstressed. And this secondary stress is marked there, and the stressed one is, you can see at the top of the ta sound, you can see the stress mark. So you have to pronounce it like this: Manitoba, Manitoba, Manitoba. You see, the last short vowel, that is almost inaudible because that is unstressed sound. So that is Manitoba, Manitoba, Manitoba. Then the third one, you can see the fa sound, it has been stressed, that's syllable. So photo, it is the photograph, photograph. You see, this a sound that is unstressed and ga sound that is secondary stress. It will be stressed but slightly, and shua, this shua sound, that will be unstressed. So you can see, just listen to me carefully, the way I can pronouncing it. Photograph, photograph. See, that a sound, the short sound, I'm not pronouncing it that much, I mean audibly. So that's why you don't listen to it. You don't find it there. Photograph, photograph. Almost is ta, I'm just stopping there, and then ga, that is secondary stress, but the first syllable that I'm putting emphasis there. Photograph, photograph. See? Is that okay? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now some basic rules. I'll just give you some very basic idea that how to stress these words. Now here you can see, in most two-syllable nouns and adjectives, the first syllable takes on the stress. It's a very basic rule. Most of the disyllabic word, if it is a noun, then put emphasis or a stress on the first syllable. I guess that Mushidva actually, when he discussed it in one of his lectures, he already explained it. Just for a reminder, I'm just giving it here, so that with all these discussions that I've already mentioned, so you will be able to relate to it, and then you will have a better understanding of stress, stress syllables. Now, here you can see samples. So you see that it's a noun, so you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Sam, that is the first syllable. So you see samples. Cartoon, colorful. Then rainy, rainy. So you see samples, cartoon, colorful, rainy. So put emphasis on the first syllable if it is a disyllabic noun. That means if there are two syllables and if it is a noun, you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Now again, if it is a verb or a preposition, and if it is disyllabic, then obviously the stress will be on the second syllable. For example, relax, relax, receive, direct, among. So you see, ma sound that is emphasized, rect, ra sound that is emphasized, and it's sa sound that is emphasized, and it's la sound that is emphasized here. The second syllable, because it's a verb or a preposition. Then two-syllable verbs and prepositions. If I have two-syllable verbs and prepositions, the discussion goes on that almost about 80% or so of two-syllable words get the stress on the first syllable, because most of the words, they are nouns and verbs are limited. So if it is a verb, stress will be second syllable. If it is a noun, then the stress will be on the first syllable. Now, three-syllable words. Now, for three-syllable words, actually, we have to go for the rest of the discussions. Then we will be able to identify that how actually we can put, you can see the stress marks on the three-syllabic word. But here, I would like to just tell you that it's a matter of practice. Only I mean, in the case of disyllabic words, if it is a verb or a and then preposition and or a noun or an adjective, in that case you can put some. I mean, you can just use the rules. But in most of the cases, it's a matter of practice. You have to memorize them. So, for example, here we have trisyllabic words. You can see that for words ending with a suffix like ear, or ly, the stress is placed on the first syllable. So look at this. Director, you can see that it's from the word direct, and there we have the director, and it's the or at the end. So you have to put the emphasis on the first syllable because it's a trisyllabic word. Director. So you see, direct, or director, you can say, but it's a direct. Then the second one is orderly. You see, or that is emphasized because it's a trisyllabic word, and at the end we have the suffix ly. So when you see any word, and if it is a trisyllabic word, then you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Orderly, orderly. Similarly, we have another word that is, you see, manager, that's manager, we say, but we have to put emphasis on the first syllable because it ends with er with this syllable. And also this is the suffix. So here, see, manager, manager, manager. See, so the ma sound, that is emphasized, that is stressed. So stress will be the first syllable if the word ends with er with this syllable of this suffix. Then, if a word ends in a consonant or in ay, so you see, a consonant or ay, then the first syllable gets a stress. Here you see, ay. Look at this. Rarity. So you can see the y, it ends with y, so you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Rarity, rarity, rarity. Then also al, you can see al, it ends with al, so we have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Optimal, optimal, optimal. So you see the rest of the syllables, they are quite soft. Then ta sound, you see, ent, the ta, so with ta sound, then you have to pronounce it like this. Gradient, gradient. Then er sound, then the emphasis will be on the first syllable. Container, container, container. Then we have these suffixes, and you have to remember that I told you that it's all about memorization. And when you practice it, then it gets very natural, and it comes to you automatically. And until and unless you practice it or drill it, you'll not be able to adapt them, and you'll not be able to adopt them. I mean, when you speak or when you use it in your spoken English. For example, able. When you have able, then you see you have to put emphasis on the first syllable, like edible, then arable, then durable. So remember it. When you have able, then you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Then again, when you have ARY, you have to put emphasis on the first syllable, like primary, diary, library. See? Then when you have CIL, then you have to put emphasis on the second syllable, like judicial, non-social, non-social. You see? So and D, they are emphasized. So you have to remember, when there is CIAL, then the stress will be on the second syllable. Then CIN, like musician, so CIN, again, you have to put emphasis on the second syllable. You have to memorize it. Musician, physician. Then we have clinician, see, knee, that will emphasize here. Again, ERY, if a word ends with ERY, then the emphasis will be, or the stress will be on the first syllable, like bakery, scenery, scenery, see, sa sound, there's ba sound. Here actually you have to put the emphasis. Then again, graphy. If you have graphy at the end, then you have to put emphasis on the second syllable. Sorry, third syllable, you see. Calligraphy. So li sound, you see. Calligraphy, you have to put emphasis there. Then bibliography, you see, O sound, you have to put emphasis there. Bibliography. Then stenography. Stenography, O, that is emphasized here. Then EL, for example, AL. Then we have, for example, celestial. You see, this sha sound, TIA, celestial. This sha sound, you have to put emphasis there because it ends with E sound. So you have to from the end AL, then EI. So we have one celeste. We have 1, 2, 3. So the third one, second one from the last, you have to put emphasis there. Similarly, initial. So you see, from the end second, or then from the beginning, that is the second. So AL, then you see the sha sound, initial, these sha sound actually have to be emphasized. Then we have judicial, you have to emphasize there, da sound, and also the sa sound. You see the judicial, because CIL or AIL is there, mistakenly actually I've capitalized the D sound. So da sound, that will be emphasized. Then IAN, you see the comedian, as there is AN, so it's the second syllable that is emphasized. Median, ma sound, that will be emphasized. Similarly, civilian, you see va sound, that will be emphasized. Then technician, ni sound, na sound, that will be emphasized. When you have IBLE, like za sound, that will be emphasized. Visible, terrible, ra sound, then resistible. This ja sound, that is emphasized, resistible. Then ik, you can see the second syllable that will be emphasized out of these three. For example, archaic, ka sound is emphasized. Then here you see second syllable again, tonic, platonic, ta sound is emphasized. Then again we have synthetic, ta sound that is emphasized, synthetic. Then ICAL, like here you can see the first syllable. When you have ICAL, then you have to put emphasis on the first syllable. Magical, logical, critical, see? Then a lot more are here. I believe that if you go through it by yourself, because you see the capitalized letters that are emphasized, just you have to note, you have to notice that whether, I mean, what are these? For example, ICS, ION, you have to just mark this. And if you can remember them, then you can identify that where you have to put emphasis in these syllables. I mean, in all these syllables. For example, logic. This is very common. Some of them are quite uncommon, so you don't have to go for it. But logic, for example, biology, cardiology, radiology, you see the first syllable that will be emphasized if you find the logic. So it's very simple. Try to remember these suffixes. Until this, up to this, do you get it what I'm saying? Is it clear to you that where to put emphasis or stress marks? Just remember, find out these suffixes, the common ones. Even if you can remember all of them, just go for the common ones. So that will help you to memorize them and understand them, and also you can practice it accordingly. Is that okay? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'll be sharing these slides with you, so you can go through it. So similarly, we have a lot more here. For example, if you have EE, for example, this suffix at the end, then you have to put emphasis on those things. So it's very easy to remember this. This group of words. For example, double E, if you find a double E at the end, then you have to put emphasis on the last syllable. Agree, jamboree, guarantee. See, in this way. So you can put emphasis there. A lot more here. This one is a little bit different. These are prefixes, because previously we talked about suffixes. Now here we have prefixes. That means, all those syllables that come at the beginning. So, for example, if you have EX at the beginning of the sentence, then you have to put emphasis on the second syllable, like example. See, example sound, that is, you have to put emphasis. Then explanation is a third syllable here. Then examine, because that is more syllable. So you have to remember the prefix, and accordingly, you have to put the emphasis there. The stress syllable you have to decide. Like miss, for example, when it is two syllables are here. For example, Mrs. spoke, mistake, this is spelled. The first syllable you have to put emphasis when you have miss at the beginning. Then you have pre. When you have pre at the beginning, then you have to put emphasis on the pre. Out of all the syllables. For example, precede. Then you have pre-arrange, preliminary. So you see, pass sound, you have to put emphasis there. That is the syllable where actually it starts from. Then also we have more. You can go through all these strategies. I believe that it's going to help you to understand it. Since actually we're running out of time, I'm not going to explain all this. Just now I would like to go for some practice here. Let's see what you have here. Now we have also what is stressed for compound words. These are very simple rules. For example, a compound noun is a noun made out of two nouns in order to form one word. So here you can see seafood. We have sea and then we have food. So both of them are noun, but altogether it's a compound noun. It has been used as a singular word, but now it is in the combination of two words we have got this one word. So when you have these compound words, and if it is made of of two words, then you have to put emphasis on the first word. That means the first syllable. For example, seafood, Iceland, toothpaste. You see, tooth, that is emphasized. Down compound adjectives, that means combination of two words. Then in that case, hyphens are used in compound adjectives. In compound adjectives, the stress is placed within the second word. Here you see the second word, the second syllable. Here you see 10 meter. So you see the 10 meter, rock solid. Then 15 minutes. You see 15 minute, me sound, that is emphasized. So 15 minutes. Then rock solid. Then 10 meter. So ma sound, that is emphasized. In the second word, sa sound emphasized. In the third word, is the me or ma sound, that is emphasized. That means that syllable you have to emphasize. So you see either for the second one in the compound adjectives. Then in the compound verbs, a compound verb, you know what is, I've already explained it. So where actually the emphasis will be there, the stress will be there. For example, we have the example sentence. Usually it is on the second one, okay, second part of the verb that you have to emphasize or you have to put a stress there. For example, Matilda loves bread but detests butter. So you see, detests. So D and test. So you see the test, that is, emphasized. Then Sarah baked cookies and ate them up. So you see that this ate verb, that is emphasized. Dogs love to eat bones and love drinking water. So you see drinking. So drink, that is emphasized here. So we have a lot more examples. If you, explanations are given here on the slides. So if you go through them, it will help you to understand it. And also the phrasal verbs, how can you pronounce them? So in phrasal verbs, the second word gets their stress. It's a very easy task, an easy way to remember it. So when you have phrasal verbs, the second one will be a stress. For example, blackout, break down, look out, see, out, down, out, that is emphasized because it's a combination of two verbs. One verb and another one is preposition or adverbials. In the proper nouns, if there are two, the second one will be emphasized. For example, North and Dakota, you see they're a combination of two proper nouns. So now you have to say North Dakota. See, Dakota, that will be emphasized. Then Mr. Smith, you see Mr. and Smith, so Smith will be emphasized. Then Apple Incorporated. So you see the Apple and Incorporated. So that is, so we have to go for the second one. So remember, so when you have phrasal verbs, second one, if there is two, in the combination of two words, if there is a phrasal verb, the second word will be emphasized. And in proper nouns, if it is the combination of two proper nouns, then the second proper noun will be emphasized. It's very easy to remember. And also similarly, if we find reflexive pronouns, the second part of the reflexive pronoun will be emphasized. So these are very easy to remember. For example, myself, themselves, ourselves, you see, selves, that you have to put emphasis on the second syllable, or you can say the second part of the word. Then numbers, so if the number is a multiple of 10, the stress is placed on the first syllable. If it is multiple of 10, that means 10 multiplied. For example, 10, 20, then 50, 15, like this. So where actually have to put emphasis? The stress is placed on the first syllable, remember. For example, 50, we don't say T, we say 50. Then we don't say 100, we say 100. You see the one, the first syllable, that will be emphasized. If it is the multiple of 10, that means 10, 20, 30, in this way, multiple. Now, I'm going for the practice, and after this, we'd like to conclude our today's discussion, and afterwards I'll take some questions, or we'll have some question answer session afterwards. Now, here we say, let's practice it. Now, by this time, we have become familiar. We are already familiar with the secondary stress mark and the primary stress mark. So accordingly, you will be able to pronounce it. Okay, and I believe that you know these phonemes, so you'll be able to pronounce it according to the phonetic transcriptions. Okay, so is it okay? Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, in our previous lecture, I gave you the idea about the phonemes, 44 phonemes. Out of them, you know, 24 are vowels and 20 consonants. Now, today, we'll be practicing in combination of that lecture and today's lecture. Now, we know the phonemes, now we know the stress marks, and we know how to put emphasis on it. So now, let's try it together. So, first one who can say? You have to put emphasis.
Procrastination.
Ma'am, you didn't put emphasis. Look at the stress mark. Where is the stress mark, ma'am?
Procrastination. Procrastination.
Ma'am, again, ah. Okay. Go soft on the ah. I believe that you don't have any, I mean, what should I say? Anyway, now try to pronounce it. I will pronounce it, then you try to pronounce it, okay? You see the secondary stress marks is there right before the ka sound, okay? So look at this. Procrastination. Procrastination. See, nation. I'm pronouncing there because the na sound, that syllable, it will be emphasized because you can see the primary stress marks there at the top of na sound. Can you see that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Say procrastination. Procrastination.
Procrastination.
Put emphasis on N sound, okay? All right, now-
Procrastination.
Okay, good. You tried it well. Now the second one. Who can say? Anyone? Dilshad, please try the second one. Try the second word. Dilshad, please try the second word.
Yes, sir.
You're not that much audible. Could you please put the microphone close to your mouth? Put the microphone close to your mouth. You're not audible. We can't hear you clearly. Hello?
So diligence?
Okay, you got it right, but pronounce it correctly. Right, Mr. Mansoor, can you pronounce it, please? Please utter the word. Mr. Mansoor, can you hear me? Mr. Mansoor, can you hear me? Okay, Musharraf, Mori, can you give it a try? Just give it a try. Give it a try.
Disobedience.
Okay, you can see the syllable here, ba sound. You have to put some emphasis there. So that is a
Yes, sir.
primary stress mark. So put emphasis there. So pronounce it correctly.
Disobedience.
Now don't say it all. That is short sound. That is short sound. Okay. So
Okay,
leave
sir.
it. Just forget it. Just imagine there is no schwa there. Now pronounce it.
So disobedience.
Ba sound, you have to put some emphasis. You see,
B.
disobedience.
Ba sound.
Disobedience. Disobedience. You see, B after B, that is long E. You see, that is E
Yes,
sound.
sir.
So you have to prolong it. Understood?
Yes, sir.
I told you that stress means where actually you have to put, it will be long and also you have to put some emphasis and your pitch will be high.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So
Yes, sir.
pronounce it correctly.
Disobedience.
Disobedience. Disobedience.
Obedience.
Disobedience. Obedience. Okay? Say it now.
Disobedience.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Now the third one. Try it.
Electrifying.
The short E, that is unstressed. And it's almost silence. It's almost silent. Actually, you don't have to pronounce it in a sense.
Okay, sir.
Electrifying. Listen to me.
Electrifying.
Electrifying. You see, I'm not pronouncing E sound, in that much. Electrifying. Electrifying. Okay? Is it okay?
Electrifying.
Electrifying.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. The next one. Next one. Maureen, pronounce it.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get it.
Pronounce it individually. Syllabic way. You see, ka, and there is a sound and na sound, that is kan. Then sa and short e, that is si, and da, then a sound, da, sida, kan si da. Then
Right,
ra
sir.
and e, that is a diphthong, or also you can say that is a and e, so a, and that is sha sound, then that is shwa and the na. So you see,
Consideration.
yeah, secondary syllable, you have to put a little bit of stress there. Consideration. 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 You see, ration, ra sound that is emphasized. Say it again.
Consideration.
Okay, excellent. Now, the next one. The schwa sound, that is F sound, you don't have to pronounce it. It's unstressed. You see the unstressed, that's it's capped, I mean it's bold. It's unstressed. You don't have to pronounce it. When you see any schwa at the beginning, forget about it. For example, bout, see schwa vowel. So B-O-U-T, forget about the R sound. It's invisible. So bout, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. So bout. Similarly here, this pa sound and o sound, that is la and a sound, and that is ja sound, and it is a sound, that's ta, short e, and ka sound. So now what is it? P and o sound, po, and that is la and a sound, pola, and that is a sound at the beginning, so we don't have to pronounce that a sound that much. And that is ja sound, so and that is a sound, so ja, and that is T-I-C. I mean T-I-K, the ta, ik, and ka, so tick, so jet, tick, so pelagic, see, pelagic. So that is apologetic, you see, we say apologetic, but that is not the correct pronunciation, apologetic, see, ja sound there, you have to put some emphasis, and secondary stress is there before the pa sound, so apologetic. Now pronounce it, Maureen.
Apologetic.
Exactly, that is apologetic, we say, but that is apologetic. Okay, ja sound. Good. Okay, now next word, can you see? Can you pronounce it? There is short a sound, there is pa sound. So, pa, say it. Say it. Maureen? Okay, thank you. And then you have to put emphasis on the ta sound, and that is short e. So we can say pati. Say pati. Say pati. Good. And that is ka sound, ka. And that is ka here and u sound. So cure. Say it. Cure. Say it. Cure. Say it. Okay, excellent. Now say it together. Particular. Say particular. Excellent. And then L and la and sound. So la. Say la. Say la. Good. Then say it together. Particular. Say particular. Excellent. And then we have la and e sound, shorty. So li. So now we'll say it together. Particularly. Say particularly. So you see in the particularly we have a ra. How many ra sound is there? 2.
Yes, sir.
You see, all of them are missing. Pramit ma'am, try to pronounce it without R. Otherwise, your pronunciation will not be perfect. So you have to bury the R in the English alphabet. Otherwise, you're going to face, regarding this, in this matter, especially in pronunciation. So particularly, you see, particularly. Okay, excellent. Now, next one, the last one. You can pronounce it. Okay, Murray, you try. So you see, that is ha and a sound and e sound and pa and a and u. So hypo. It's a hypo. So pronounce it now. Hypo. And you see the ka sound, there is a stress mark. And that is o and na and da and ra and e and a sound. So that is con. So hypo, that is con, and that is dria. So now put it together.
Hypochondria.
Excellent. But put emphasis on ka sound. Hypochondria. Say
Hypochondria.
Excellent. You did very well. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. All right. Now let's see what are these words. Here you see. So we have procrastination, disobedience, electrifying, consideration, apologetic, particularly, and hypochondria. See? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So with this note, I'd like to conclude our today's discussion. Now I'll open the floor for your feedback and opinion, if you have any. Murshid bhai, now it's up to you. I'm done here.
Thank you, Mr. Shahriar.
You're most welcome. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Would you like
interesting.
to give Dr. Flo? Yeah, Dr. Bruce, could you read out these?
Yeah, sure. It was interesting
Words?
listening to Mr. Sharia, certainly, Mr. Mashid. Procrastination, disobedience, electrifying, consideration, apologetic, particularly, hypochondria. Yeah, it was quite interesting how the phonetic alphabet bears a close resemblance to these words. So at least to the 26-letter alphabet, rather. So with knowing just the 26-letter alphabet, I was able to infer what these words were without being absolutely clear on the, let's say, the phonetic alphabet. So there's some inference involved in that respect. But I think, yeah,
Thank you, Dr. Bruce. And please continue.
Another thought that went through my mind while I was listening, just that might be helpful, it's just something that sprung to mind, was that often people that watch TV shows, for instance, and like whatever it may be, let's say Friends, BBC World News, Sky News, that sort of thing. Quite often they sometimes have subtitles with the written word. But what occurred to me is that sometimes with the intonation of words and with the stress placed on different syllables, there's a program for people that work as sound engineers. I think it's called Audacity. And I've used it for editing of transcripts, like when I was doing some of my research. And it shows the actual intonation, the rising and falling of the word stress in real time. And what occurred to me is that people who want to learn more about intonation and word stress, if there was a program that somehow they could integrate like a little caption in the side of the screen, which would show the intonation of the words being spoken. And for the non-native speaker, they'd somehow be able to more appreciate the stress on the word by not just hearing it, but also seeing the visual caption, like a moving caption. I don't know if I can describe it in the right way. But, you know, these editing programs like Audacity, I think, particularly that one, it shows the actual sort of, how can I describe it? It's almost like, I forget the term, but it kind of, it's a moving kind of band, you know? I don't know if you can...
shows, Dr. Bruce, it shows the frequency, the pitch.
Yeah, frequency. Yeah, that's probably the word I'm looking for.
It shows the frequency.
Yeah, it shows the frequency. But if that was visible while the words were being spoken, in other words, they could have the written word titles, subtitles as the words are being spoken in some instances, but a frequency kind of thing, just like a small segment within the screen that would actually show the frequency, so that when the tone is emphasized and it's an upper frequency, then, you know, the frequency moves up, almost like a heart monitor, you know, in that way. It just occurred to me that a visual kind of display of that type together with the word spoken at the time of seeing the TV show or whatever, that it might give some appreciation of the frequency, whether it be, it's just something that just crossed my mind, that's all.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bruce. You're absolutely right. I mean,
from an educational perspective, it's something it might be an help. And in actual fact, if you were to have this, for example, if you were to have the audio of this particular discussion, and then you were to put that into like a program, like there may be different types of software that you can use.
Yes.
And somehow you could have it in real time linked to it might somehow lend towards educational value.
So I wish we could have that kind of TV program on television, But unfortunately, it
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything like it.
I haven't seen anything like that.
Subtitles. I've seen subtitles for different languages,
Without
but I've not
phonetic
seen a
transcription?
frequency. Yeah, I've
Yes,
seen nothing like
phonetic
that.
transcription. Yeah, yeah.
A phonetic
I've
frequency, yeah, phonetic frequency band, like a visual that synchronizes with the speech.
Yes. It's a pretty good idea, I mean, that you have mentioned that. If you
It's just something that occurred to me. I'd never thought of it, and I just thought,
Yeah,
well, I
if-
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but it would help non-native speakers to appreciate the intonation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite innovative. I mean, if you really can
And
do
it's not difficult to do it. It's just all one has to do is to
it's a
synchronize. Yeah.
the synchronizer, the speech, and also, I mean, the software or the apps that you're talking about.
The particular software that I've used quite a bit in the past is it's referred to as Audacity. I think it's a desktop app, and you just input the soundtrack in, and obviously it gives a frequency display in real time of the visuals of what's being spoken. Yeah.
Yes, there are many recording, I mean, software like this. So you can record and you can also, observe your own frequency.
As to how to display it in a recording. That's another thing I don't know about that, but
yes,
maybe some fundi in computers could do it. Yeah.
yes. Thank you, Dr. Bruce. I mean,
Yeah. Well, thanks. It was interesting. Yeah. Cheers. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Dr. Bruce. I appreciate your observations. I think anybody else has any question or any observation? Yeah, from the participants. If not, we'll stop it here.
Okay.
Hope no.
Oh well.
Anyway, thank you, everybody.
Oh, good night. Good night.
See you on
Thank
Monday.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bruce.
Bye.